Ask yourself this question and really listen to it. If I didn't change anything about how I behaved in my life right now, ever, would I be happy 30 years from now? You've clicked on this video because you have decided that 2024 is not going to be like 2023 or 2022 or every single year before that, where you had this goal and desire to glow up and have the best year of your life, and it turned out to be just like the last. As a professional careers coach and advice columnist, I'm going to be dropping all of these special little tips and tricks that help me level up every single year that I know is going to help you too. Don't forget to leave a little like, a little comment, and subscribe, and I think it's time for us to get into it. If you genuinely want to mentally glow up this year and have the most successful year of your life, both in your career and financially and in your personal life, you need to accept that there is no secret to success. Any of those videos on the internet or TikToks, podcasts, whatever, that are telling you there's one big secret to live the best life in the world, to make all of the money in the world, it's clickbait, girl, okay? There's no such thing as a secret. And the second you release the idea that there is this secret sauce to get what you want, the easier life is going to become. It's so easy to open up Instagram and social media and see all of these people who have the hot husband you want, the big house you want, and all of the money that you want, and think, oh, it looks so easy for people like them. They make it look like there's a secret. But like many other things, what social media isn't telling you is that there's typically years and years of work being put into the things that are presented online, and obviously things are going to look a little bit easier when you're only seeing the final product. Tough love moment is coming up. If you actually want to become your dream self, your ideal self, you need to start acting like that person today and take accountability for your behavior. It doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if you didn't get enough sleep last night. If you don't change, nothing is going to change, and all of the self-help videos and books in the world are not going to help you if you haven't taken the locus of control back internally and stop externalizing all of the reasons you haven't hit those goals. First thing we need to do is set a gorgeous foundation, and I'm not just talking Fenty skin. If you don't have the basics and the foundation of your year set up, all of this other stuff is ultimately going to mean nothing. Trust me, I'm going to give you a lot of tactical tips in just a second, but I cannot emphasize enough how important your mental health and your state of mind is in order for you to achieve these goals. You might be familiar with the concept of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's basically this beautiful little pyramid that tells us we have a grading system for what we need in life. And ultimately, you can't need one thing without having a foundation of the other. So if you're looking to transform and transcend your life this year, if you don't have the basics of psychological safety and your mental health set up, you're setting yourself up for failure. Do you hear my dog? Pinky, come say hi. Hey, little fella. Hey, buddy. You might hear him puttering around. I can't stop it. Outside of therapy and getting professional support, setting your mental health up for success also starts with your support system. If you are looking to have a year where you level up, if you keep hanging out with people who don't believe in the power of you, ultimately that's going to rub off on you and impact your self-image. But if you have friends who see the magic in you, who support you, who see you starting that small business or working towards a promotion, and they congratulate you for putting in the work instead of shaming you for having different priorities than them, that really changes the way that you operate. I hate to say it because I low-key sound like my mother, but the content that you consume really does shape your worldview. If you're constantly watching people on the internet who make you feel bad about yourself or make you feel like you're not enough, that's also slowly and implicitly going to impact your self-image. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, the biggest myth in the world is that there is a sense of motivation. Unfortunately, motivation is a big fat lie. Honestly, if you're hanging your hat on hoping that motivation is going to help you get through the turbulent times in your life, you're wasting your time. Motivation is an emotion, and like every other emotion in the world, it's gonna fade, it's gonna come up, it's gonna come down. You know what doesn't fade? Is habits. It's discipline. Discipline gets shit done. Motivation, yeah, for the first week of January when the new year turns, you're like, let's go to the gym. Your motivation's gonna fade because it's a feeling. But after 30 days, it is scientifically proven that your habits tend to stick better. So if you focus on establishing healthy habits instead of investing in that sexy feeling of motivation, it's actually gonna take you further. Like butter, you don't wanna spread yourself too thin, and kick-ass years require kick-ass goals. Otherwise, you're gonna be doing a little bit of everything chasing a dopamine hit. And the goal of this year, if you really want to level up and elevate your mindset, is you're never going to feel satisfied if you're chasing 100 different targets. You need to be strategic and think of yourself like a business investment. If your goal is to be more productive and be more healthy, that might mean that you are going to the gym. It might mean you're cooking more, going on walks more with friends. It might mean you learn how to do facials at home. There could be so many different things that fall under that umbrella. And if you're not specific about what your strategic priorities are, you're going to end up feeling spread thin and like you're you're not making a lot of progress on all of these different things. And ultimately, it's gonna make you want to give up when you don't see the progress being made. If your goal this year is to make more money, that's an amazing place to start, but let's get a little bit more specific. Do you wanna make more money in your 9-to-5 job, or do you wanna diversify and have a new stream of income? If you wanna make more money in your 9-to-5, do you wanna stay at this current company or look for a new company? I would highly recommend writing down, whether it's like an iPad or a piece of paper, what your core 3 goals are for the year, and then break them down into as detailed segments as physically possible. And then if it's a year-long goal, break it down by quarter, so every 3 months, and then break it down even further into 1-month goals. And effectively, you've now just given yourself a to-do list of things you have to do this month, not over the course of the full year where you can easily lose sight of it, but in the next 4 weeks, you need to do A, B, C in order to reach your goal this time next year. Which leads me to embracing tracking as a best practice. And studies show nothing gives people a dopamine hit quite like crossing something off of your to-do list, like physically crossing it off of your to-do list. So when you have your goals and a work back plan for the month, literally write them down, whether it's on a calendar or digitally. I'm a digital person, like I love having things on my iPad, and physically cross them off week by week, day by day. And every time you're feeling down or unmotivated or exhausted or like you're making no progress, you now have an entire exhaustive list of everything you've already accomplished to reference back to. One of the best things you can do in every facet of your life is adopting a bias for action today. Whether it's at work and accomplishing a big task, asking for that raise, applying for a job, hell, even quitting your job, doing the dishes, the list goes on and on. Why put off something you can do today into tomorrow? There's really no good reason. Procrastination is something that a lot of us face for many different reasons, whether it's you're a perfectionist like myself and you only want to do things when you know they're going to be perfect, whether it's laziness or avoidance. Procrastination is the thief of productivity and will no matter what get you back into that mindset of not trusting yourself. Every time you tell yourself, oh, I'll do that tomorrow, and then it's tomorrow, and then it's tomorrow, and it's the cycle, you are implicitly teaching your brain and rewiring your brain to not believe a g-damn thing that you tell yourself. And so when you see a dish in the sink, put it away. When you see a spot that needs to be vacuumed, scoop it up. Get into the habit of doing things immediately and in the moment so they don't pile up and feel overwhelming. And that applies at work too, or at school. If you have a lot of projects, start doing things the second you get them and not putting them off into the future. You are robbing yourself of time in the future and robbing yourself of trust in the present. Truly productive and truly healthy people are comfortable being uncomfortable now for the comfort of tomorrow. If I see one more video talking about a healthy morning routine, okay, I might never wake up again. And let me tell you why. Morning routines are great. Everybody has a morning routine. You sleeping until 10 o'clock, rolling out of bed, eating a burrito, going back to bed, that's a routine. I don't understand why we have demonized the idea of taking in extra sleep and sleeping in. I need you to detach from the idea of an aesthetic morning, an aesthetic afternoon, my productive morning routine, my productive nighttime routine. If you watch that content because you find it entertaining and inspiring, slay. I make that content sometimes, so like I do enjoy it, but do not compare what works for other people to what works for you. And what I would highly recommend doing is pay attention over the next 2 or 3 days to when you feel the sharpest mentally. For this next one, I have to show you a quote that I posted on Instagram because I think it's amazing. Does anyone else's phone not recognize them when they have makeup on? It's a little rude. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but it says, "The words you speak become the house you live in." Oh, it's such a good quote. It's such a good quote. Many studies show that how we speak to and about ourselves actually chemically rewires our brain. If you keep telling yourself that you're stupid, that you're lazy, I'm not a big gym person, I don't really like working out, I'm not really good at work, I don't really like presentations, you genuinely are going to believe that. And the second you believe you can't do something, you're gonna suck at it. That's just how it's gonna go. But when you start saying, you know what, I'm not great at the gym right now, but I really enjoy moving my body, or I'm really open to experimenting at the gym, I'm open to learning new things at work. If you shift that language, I'm telling you, this isn't like some foo-foo, look in the mirror, tell myself I love myself shit. Like, this is science. This is actually how our brains work. And if you wanna have a clear mind and actually achieve things in the next year, stop setting boundaries for yourself by the words you use. And that also counts for the people in your circle. If you have friends who speak ill of you or frequently speak ill of other people, that's creating a cycle of negativity that's not productive and conducive to you getting to that next level. And there's a grace period. People with healthy mindsets, people who have strong goals, recognize that you're not always going to be perfect. There's going to be setbacks, weeks you don't go to the gym, a job you didn't get, the promotion you didn't get. Rejection, whoa, what is it like that? Rejection is redirection. It is not always a failure. You don't know what that blocked blessing is actually giving you. You don't know what that closed door is going to redirect you to. Do not get in the habit this year of beating yourself up. You don't want to be someone who has so many goals that you're only fixated on the end destination and not the journey. And this is the part that really sucks. Like when you have a goal in your life, ultimately it means you have to give some things up in order to reach that goal. If you want to feel healthier, maybe your goal is to like run a marathon at some point this year. Unfortunately, going out for dinner and eating fast food with your friends twice a week is not going to get you there. And that's just like the harsh reality. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If your goal is to get promoted and make more money at work and you're not willing to take on more projects, that's a problem. If you want a new job and you're not willing to network and invest and carve out the time for that, that's also a problem. You need to realize that in order to hit the goals that you've defined earlier in this video, you're gonna have to sacrifice some shit. End of the day, all of these goals and these habits that you're creating only really work if you plan on sticking to them. That's why it's important to have measurable and consistent specific goals so things feel like they can be targeted and hit.